nightmare incarnate! There is life in me yet! Curse you, Bale!
So you like dragons, huh? Yeah, me too. But believe it or not, in the 2 years I've been drawing, I have never tried to draw them. Because, you know, there's one thing about dragons that's really scary. It's that they're hard to draw. But that changes today, because I started a new series. Yeah. Though I haven't really came up with a name yet, so we'll have to figure that out. Maybe you in the comments can let me know. In short, the series is just where I challenge myself to draw things I've never drawn or even tried to draw before, to get myself out of my comfort zone and to try new things. I'm sure over the course of time I'll add new stipulations to make it a little bit harder on myself, but for today, this was just a simple try to draw and figure out as much as possible within no time limit. Now, as I said, drawing dragons is hard, but there's a reason why it's hard. There's two reasons in particular I can name. Let's start with number one. You see, usually when trying to learn how to draw something, I decide to use either Pinterest, Google, or any other form of media that can show me references. Photo references, though, because when you try and use anime or other references in a certain art style, it just ends up not really working well. But of course, I'll just address the elephant in the room. Dragons aren't real. Yeah, can't really do that. Now, on to reason number two. I'll start with my method was to look up anatomy that many people maybe have figured out online. However, as you can see, dragons are really a debatable topic online, apparently. You see, there's more than just one type of dragon. There's the usual dragon you're used to, the normal dragon, 4 arms, 2 wings attached to their back. But there's also wyverns with 4, worms, Chinese dragons, and Drake? You get the point. There are so many dragons, and the problem with that is that there's so much different types of anatomy that follows with those dragons. So instead of just hyperfixating on one, instead of just overwhelming myself and trying to draw multiple different types of dragons, I decided to make this easier on myself and just hyperfixate on one aspect of a dragon that I like. So I decided to use Monster Hunter as a reference and decided to look up monsters that I like. But before I get into that, I wanted to see what I already knew. So I challenged myself to draw a dragon from memory without any references, just purely what I knew from the start. And you can really see how that went. On the right side, it looks like a dragon. I can tell it is a dragon. It's just not a very good one. I don't really know what's going on with the hair here. I just kind of added stuff because I thought I've seen it before. And you can tell the smoke was clearly there because I didn't really know what I was going to do next. So, not really the best, but at the same time, we have a lot to work with. So now we'll start with phase 1 of the plan. Since dragons, of course, don't exist in our world and we don't have photorealistic pictures of dragons, I decided I'll use something close to it. Reptiles. Specifically, I decided to use the bearded dragon because I think they look really cute, and plus they're cool. So I decided to use a picture off of Pinterest and just get a basic idea of what they look like. I didn't really break down the anatomy too much. I just wanted to have the overall shape and get my hands used to drawing in those forms. Now, after drawing this little cute sucker right here, I decided to move on to trying to sketch real dragons by looking up different anatomy pictures and different references, but it didn't really work so well. I was lacking on something and I didn't really understand the full form of a dragon. Although some of the drawings resembled dragons, I didn't really feel like I was grasping anything. So I had to slow down, take a step back after drawing for a little bit, and realize something, that in order for me to learn, I need to be able to create on my own. I decided to start creating my own designs instead of just copying from references, because at the end of the day, I've learned what most benefits me, instead of just copying, is to create and compare what is different from what I did from what I like. So my brain cells started rubbing together and I started trying to create different designs. And it didn't really turn out bad, but I definitely think I could have done better. As you can kind of see, I slowly started to get the picture. Eventually, after multiple different attempts of trying to draw dragons, I decided to fixate on one type, wyverns, because I like the overall design of their wings being attached to the arms. Usually I am the type to like, the 6-limb dragon, but today was a little different. So I started off with my initial sketch, and I had this original idea that it would have these like giant shaped horns that would like spiral, and then it would like hone in like Ray Dow to like pinpoint this laser cool strike of like, I don't know what element. But I learned that spirals are really hard, so they intimidated me a little too much from that angle, so I decided to scrap the idea completely. And I changed up some of the poses, and then I looked up some different references of armor, I looked up some different references of scales and how they form on the dragon, and I gave it my best shot. And eventually, I ended up with this initial sketch. Now, it's not bad, but it's really messy, and I really ended up not liking it the next day, so I decided to move on and try again. This time, I really tried to focus on the pose and the gravity and the way it's centered on the dragon to make it feel a lot more heavy and a lot more ready to be active, a lot more jumpy. And eventually, I ended up with this, which I liked a lot more. Now, I added in some color, put some purple because I really like purple, and this is what I ended up with. Now, I could have rendered it and spent more time, but I really just wanted to focus mainly on the sketch itself. I didn't want to focus on spending up too much time trying to make it polish it and make it look perfect, because at the end of the day, that's not what this was about. This was just to get that feeling for how to draw dragons, and I think I did a pretty good job. I definitely learned a little bit about how dragons are formed. I'm definitely not a master at it yet, but we'll save that for another video, a progress video for a future video down the line. My advice to anyone who wants to learn dragons, or really anything, is to, like I said, for one, get some sort of reference about a real life reference of the thing you want to draw, or something it's based off of. For instance, if you want to draw goblins, maybe study pigs and bulls or other big brawly things or scrawny things, depending on how you want to draw a goblin. If you want to draw everything in fantasy is somewhat based off of something in reality. So even though it may be intimidating, just give it a shot and try and use your eyes to really analyze what it reminds you of. And once you can find that, it'll be significantly easier, I promise you. Step 2, like as I said before, at least for me, it is a lot easier when I try and create my own idea versus when I try to just copy off of references, because I'm not really absorbing anything. I'm just putting pieces where an artist is telling me they belong, and that's not really helping me figure that out. I need to use my brain to figure out where this puzzle piece goes, if that makes any sense. Now, one little thing I want to talk about is I wish I could have done it differently, but I was heavily inspired with these horns by the Nameless King because I really liked how its crown fit. It really doesn't look like that the more I look at it now, but I just thought I should say that. So all my Dark Souls 3 fans out there, you're welcome. With that, that's the end of this video. I've got a lot more future ideas planned, different series and different challenges, maybe even some tier lists, who knows. But with that one, that's it. Thank you. Let me know how I did in the comments below, and I appreciate a like and maybe subscribe, but you don't have to. I just appreciate you being here. Now, thank you, and that's the end of this video.